What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for NXT Battleground. Just finished watching it, man. Obviously, you guys know this came out. This show aired the same time as Double or Nothing, so I ended up watching Double or Nothing first, and I was going to watch NXT later on. Which I just finished it up. And overall, gotta say, man, phenomenal show, man. Like, seriously, and one other thing I gotta say real quick. I swear to God, man, I can't catch a fucking break. Like, with NXT, like, you know, we had Stand and Deliver, you know, that was the same night as WrestleMania Night 1, so you had that going on. And then when they moved their pay-per-views back to Sundays, I'm like, oh, thank God, back on Sundays, where pay-per-view should be, all is good. And then later to find out, oh, Double or Nothing's the same night. Cool! So you got that, and now we got an announcement that we're going to have Great American Bash now being moved to its own separate pay-per-view rather than being like one of the higher-end NXT shows on USA. That's going to be like the end of July once again on Sunday. Hopefully there's not another AEW show the same day that I gotta worry about. I don't think there will be this time. I think we'll be back to just one show, hopefully. But yeah, we got the news for what the next NXT show is going to be. Cool. Anyway, man, so yeah, let's just jump right into the actual show. So first up was a triple threat match for the North American title between Wesley, Tyler Bate, and of course Joe Gacy. Big story with this one was the whole thing about Wesley feeling betrayed by Tyler Bate for not telling him that he wants a match for the North American Championship. And this match itself, man, was fantastic, man. A fantastic triple threat match was this match. Started off fast and furious, all these guys trying to get quick pins on one another. It was a nice little exchange before eventually they start attacking Joe Gacy. They eventually go onto the outside and they start arguing, and then both Tyler Bate and Wesley are kind of like arguing with each other. They look at each other, and they throw Joe Gacy back into the ring, and then they both try to get into the ring, but then like Tyler Bate would go into the ring first or slide under the bottom rope. Then Wesley would grab him, throw him out there. Then he tries to slide in there, but then Tyler Bate grabs him and then swings him back. They kind of did this whole thing for a bit. Eventually, Joe Gacy would also hit like a suicide dive onto both Wesley and Tyler Bate, which looked pretty insane. I did not know a man like Tyler, like Joe Gacy, a man of his size, can do a suicide dive, and he did a pretty good suicide dive, man. Although there were definitely crazier looking suicide dives you would see later on this show, man. Oh boy, when we get to those, man. But anyway, those two eventually would go at. You had Wesley, you had Wesley doing his like moves in the corners where he like running back and forth between Joe Gacy and Tyler Bate. There was another insane move where Tyler Bate, I believe, had Joe Gacy up in a fireman's carry, then grabs Wesley into this position for the Cesaro swing, and legit while he's carrying Tyler Bate on his back, he starts swinging around Wesley doing the Cesaro thing. He doesn't do it for real. I'm more surprised that Joe Gacy was able to stay on and he didn't lose his belt and like fall off of him. I'm more surprised at that than Tyler Bate being able to accomplish. He did like 5 rotations or something before he eventually ended off. So then Wesley gets up in a sleeper hold position onto Joe Gacy, but he manages to like throw him over into the corner, going him down, goes for the pin. Tyler Bate does this like corkscrew splash or whatever off the top rope or swanton, whatever it's called, onto Joe Gacy, goes for the pin, but then Wesley comes out of nowhere and hits a meteor onto Tyler Bate to go for a near fall, man. That looked pretty insane. Eventually, Wesley would put Joe Gacy onto the top rope, sitting on top of the top rope, while Tyler Bate is on the outside. He would then leap over Joe Gacy, more so like dodged over him, kind of like leaped next to him. He kind of dodged him. He didn't like leap over him, but it's still pretty impressive. They leaped all the way over the top rope, missed Joe Gacy, managed to get back, dodge Joe Gacy, and went for like a moonsault or whatever the fuck, or flip or whatever onto Tyler Bate. That looked fucking insane, man. We would eventually end the match off with Joe Gacy going for his top rope, for his move, for his finishing move. I forget what it's called, but as he's as he's getting to the rope, Joe Gacy does some somersaults or whatever it's called into the cardiac kick for the 1, 2, 3. Fantastic match, man. Love this triple threat, and yeah. Been loving Wesley's title when he's having as North American Championship. Like I mentioned this before, but I'm kind of shocked at how well Wesley has kind of turned into a singles guy. You guys know, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in past ones. I thought he was going to get released after maybe a few months after MSK was broken up and everything. But nah, man has been flourishing on NXT, and shout out to him, man. But I do still hope one day we do see MSK get reunited. But at this point, I don't think we are, man. I think they're probably just going to keep Wesley as a singles guy. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe once he gets called up, then they'll bring back in MSK. Who knows? Anyway, then we have the Heritage Cup match, which was a great match in its own right, man. Basically, the Heritage Cup, this is the first time I've seen this because I don't watch NXT UK. And basically, 2 out of 3 falls, 6 3-minute rounds. Whoever gets 2 out of 3 falls, whoever gets the most falls, wins the match, basically. Now, at first, I thought this was just like, a Heritage Cup, like a trophy. But then once he actually comes out, Noam Dar, once he comes out, it says the Heritage Cup Championship, which... I don't know, I feel it's kind of ridiculous to call this a championship given how big it is. But then again, the Heritage Cup trophy winner, Noam Dar, probably doesn't sound as good. And I assume that the Heritage Cup is meant to be the Intercontinental Championship or the North American Championship, the Mid-Card Championship for NXT UK, if I'm assuming. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And, yeah, this is a great match. You had Dragon Lee come out first with Nathan Frazier in his corner, and then you had Noam Dar with I'm slipping on the dude's name, the black guy with the red hair, slipping on his name for a moment. Which I have to ask is like, what is with all these black people? Like all surrounding Noam Dar. Why has this man got like all these black people around him, bro? You had like Lash Legend and whoever the fuck the chick with the red hair was. At the end of the match, then you had Omdar. I forget I'm slipping on the dude's name. The dude with the red hair come in there to back him up as his cornerman. Like, what's with all the black people? Why there's so many black people infatuated with this man? Like, why this man got like a mini posse with them that's just black people? Anyone else finds this kind of bizarre? Or is it just me? I don't know, man. I just wanted this whole like, why, like, especially with Lash Legend and Carly, whatever her name was. Like, why are they so infatuated with this guy? Like, I don't know. Don't know why there's so many black people surrounding this man. But whatever the case may be on that front. Anyway, the first of all, nothing really happened. It was supposed to just a feeling out. One thing that was actually kind of interesting was Dragon Lee would have like this Dragon Lee would have Noam Dar's like throw the head like in between his legs, getting like a little chokehold thing going. Noam Dar would try to bridge out of it, but Lee was able to counter it back to the ground. That looked pretty good. But this fall ended up ending with nothing happening. This is when Omar, whoever the dude is, Omdar, whatever his name is, with the black guy with the red hair, comes rushing in there, and he's in now being his quartermain. He's like, I'm here now. So you had that going on. Second fall would be where Noam Dar would get it would score the forced pinfall with a roll up, and then the third fall is when Dragon Lee really started to go off, started to get more offense in there. He did this one move where Noam Dar was on the apron, and Dragon Lee jumps over the top rope and lands and hits a Hurricane Rana on Noam Dar to the outside. That looked pretty cool. Eventually, he would also hit a suicide dive where he got a lot of airtime in that one. Like the speed that man got, man, was crazy. But then again, that wasn't even close to what happened later on the match, man, with Nathan Frazier. So they keep going at it. Nothing once again happens with this fall. But right when the fall ends there, Noam Dar would get a cheap shot, an elbow to the face to Dragon Lee. He's like, oh, I didn't hear it. And they mentioned on commentary, which you all saw this when they gave us the rules of the Heritage Cup, is that if there's a DQ, the match ends instantly. And I mean, wouldn't be surprised if the man was trying to get himself disqualified so he would keep his championship. But nothing. But with the referee's discretion, the match continued on. And now, of course, he's in his corner. He's like, "Oh, come on, bro, let's go." Now he doesn't want to take a rest because he knows that he's fresh. So they keep going at it. Eventually, Dragon Lee would be able to score a pinfall, tying them up with a move where he kind of like goes up for like a Hurricane Rana type thing, but kind of just like lands right on top of him to get the pinfall. That looks pretty cool. Then we get to the fifth round. Was making sure I got the numbers right. This is where they would keep going at it some more. Dragon Lee would hit a big power bomb. It looked really nice. This is of course when Carly comes in to distract the referee. Noam Dar, Lash Legend would also come in there, hit Dragon Lee with the bucket too, of course. So then we're Noam Dar with his Fisher, the no ray, I forget exactly what it's called, and to eventually win. There was also this other part where Dragon Lee, I believe, had Noam Dar in a sharpshooter, I believe it was. Anyway, he had him in some sort of submission, and Noam Dar is like crawling to the rope, and then Omdar, whatever his name is, pushes the rope a little forward so he can be able to grab it. Nathan Frazier comes in there and be like, bro, what the hell's going on? What are you doing? And he like that's when he turns his back, and I had a feeling he was going to attack him, which he did. Attacks him, throws him into the barricade. They would eventually keep going down into the ring, where Nathan Frazier would hit a massive super kick on him, sending him out to the outside before he hit a devastating suicide dive. And bro, the speed this man got. Oh Lord, this man came out like a fucking cannon. Like he came out of a fucking cannon with the amount of speed this man got on that suicide dive, bro. Looked absolutely insane. But they were eventually kicked out of the match and the match continued on. That's of course the last legend. Eventually they would come in there for Nathan Frazier to win the match, get the second fall, and retain his Heritage Cup championship. Very good match. It's alright. A great match. Really enjoy this one. I am curious to know if Noam Dar is going to be staying on NXT. From now on, and we're going to see more of the Heritage Cup match on NXT, or maybe he might be, or if he's going to be like going back to NXT UK and taking Last Legends and whoever with him. We'll have to wait and see on that, I guess. If he makes an appearance on NXT, we'll know. But yeah, very good match. I wouldn't mind seeing more of the Heritage Cup on NXT. I like this match. I wouldn't mind seeing more of these pop up. Then we finally had what was the best match of the night, the last man standing match between Dominik Dijakovic or Dijak versus Ilya Dragunov. Easily the best match on the card, like I mentioned before. A takeover quality match, man. I dare say I would give this match 7 stars. Okay, probably more closer to 6 stars. I'd probably give this match 6 stars, but a phenomenal match in its own right, man. Oh my god, this match is so good. So, the whole thing with Dragunov, of course, he likes pain and everything. So here tonight, he actually came out dressed with red eye, with like red contacts in. A little weird, but whatever. After once he made his entrance, you forgot you don't even see him anymore, so it's not like you're painted. But yeah, he came out dressed up with red contacts this time in the match. Actually, when Dominik Dijakovic was making his entrance, there was this little girl. I don't know if they mentioned something. I think this might have been Dragunov's child, wife and child. I'm not sure. It might have been just some random little girl that happened to be in the front row. I don't really remember. So I don't know if this child was a plant or not. But Dijak looks over and tells her to like get out of here. She doesn't need to see this. Which is pretty funny, man. So yeah, these two eventually go at it. They start having like a little bit of a chop off before they start going at it to the outside. Dragunov would use the steel steps to get on top of that and go for that like diving headbutt thing he does, but Dijakovic would meet him with a knee, with a kick right to the face, man. Eventually after that, Dominik Dijakovic would hit a suplex onto the steel steps that looked pretty nasty. He would then grab a table, and while this was happening, I was kind of wondering what the hell he was doing. He kind of just like grabbed it up, was kind of like holding it up, like, bro, what are you planning on this? And then next thing I know, the fucking Dragunov comes out there full steam ahead and just rams right through the table, man. So it's basically just holding it up, just so for Dragunov to go right through, man. It looked pretty nasty. And then I believe it was Booker T on commentary mentioned that he was busted open, which at first you couldn't really see where the blood is. I'm looking around like, where's the blood? Where's the blood? And also the camera wasn't showing you anything of Ilya Dragunov. They were solely focusing on Dominik Dijakovic and showing you off the replays. They made sure not to show you his face, which made me kind of wonder, which made me think, okay, he must actually be bleeding if they're so hell-bent on not showing us any cuts of him. But as the match progresses on, you eventually do see he has like this cut around his like chin, jaw line area where he had, they look pretty nasty, honestly. So after that, these two keep going at it. Ilya Dragunov would then eventually grab the steel steps. And then while Dominik Dijakovic's in one of the corners, just yeets him to this man, gets up to the top rope, and hits fucking coast to coast on the steel steps. Bro, this shit was insane, man. This was probably the spot of the night, honestly, man. This was insane. After that, Ilya Dragunov hits his rapid-fire chops. He's like fucking spinning around, like tripping all over himself, all over the ring, barely able to keep his balance, man. Man was going off before they eventually keep going out with the chops, and eventually they both get down to the ground, and then he once again hits more chops on him, and then eventually hits one more from where he gets back up, and then hits one more where he just like kind of like falls right down for one last chop, man. Pretty insane stuff. Eventually, Dijakovic would hit a choke slam onto Ilya Dragunov on the apron to the outside. Barely makes it up at 9. I love the shot when they were staring each other down. That looked fucking clean as hell, man. Love that shot. Eventually, wants to get back in the ring. Dijakovic hits feet Shirai's. Ilya Dragunov is basically being held up by the ropes up to this point. He grabs the kendo stick and just starts beating the shit out of Dragunov at the time. And bro, Ilya Dragunov, man, Jesus Christ, can this man sell like crazy? Or maybe he was in legitimate pain. With the way this man was selling, there's a good chance this man was in legitimate pain at this point. But this dude sounds like he's straight up sobbing after all these hits, man. Like, good lord, they were like, man was going off with the selling, man. There was also this one spot where I believe Dijakovic was going to go for a choke slam, but Ilya Dragunov managed to counter into a DDT onto the steel steps that looked really nasty as well. He eventually would grab in a steel chair, wailing on Dragunov on that one for a little bit, would hit his running headbutt before eventually grabbing the steel steps again, going on top of him, hitting a jumping forearm to the back of head of Dijakovic onto the steel chair, where Dijakovic would not make the count of 10. At first, with the way they're shooting, I thought that Dijak was gonna grab the chair and just like either hit him with it right to the face or just yeets it at him when he was gonna go for the dive. But no, he managed to make connection, man. Yeah, phenomenal match, man. Absolutely love this, man. Easily was match of the night. And then we have the tag team title match between Diamond Mine and Gallus. And this was a great tag team match. I really loved this match, man. And yeah, we started the match off with Wolfgang and Julius in the ring. They would go at it eventually. It would be Julius and Mark Coffey in the ring. And I really like this exchange where Mark Coffey threw him, did an Irish whip into the one in the corner. Julius was able to jump over him, goes run the ropes. Julius was able to get the hidden tag in there. The ref saw it and everything, but Mark did. He runs the ropes for a bit. Then when he gets back to around where his corners, he leaves the ring, goes back to Ivy Nelson also to like watch this. And while all this is going on, Brutus gets onto the top rope and hits a double axe handle from the top rope onto Mark Coffey. That looked pretty cool. I really like that exchange, man. Eventually, as the match continues on, they would eventually have, the meet-up between both of them in the ring. The ref is still like, get back, tag. And, they guys stare each other down. Then they try to get, Gallus tries to get some sneak attacks in, but those did not end up well. Eventually, Wolfgang would get a cheap shot onto Julius Creed. And man, bro, when Julius got this shit, a man looked at him like, motherfucker, you did not just do that, man. And then I believe, no, this was happening right before, where it was Brutus and Wolfgang into the ring. Brutus was trying to go for the tag, but Wolfgang managed to stop him. And even UX, and this is something I thought was kind of cool from Vic Joseph on commentary. He mentioned how Julius Creed switched to the other corner to get a little bit closer to Brutus so he can get a tag in there, but Wolfgang still able to stop him. Then he got the cheap shot in, and then right after that he was able to get him off him, and then goes the tag. And so obviously Wolfgang got these hands from Julius. And bro, from here on out, man was going up. You thought this man was possessed by Prime Kurt Angle. This man was hitting like 10 belly-to-back suplexes, one right after, on both members of Gallus, took the straps down, did a kip up after each one. Bro was going off in this match, man. I'm like, goddamn, bro. I don't know how many he did in particular, but I'm pretty sure it was like 10. Might have been 15. Either way, he got a lot of German belly-to-back suplex in there. He tags in Brutus. Julius would hit a standing shooting star press, while Bruce would hit a moonsault onto Mark Coffey, which I was definitely surprised. I did not think a man of his size could do a moonsault, especially for a man of his size. After that one, Bruce would hit a cannonball on both members of Gallus. Eventually, this is when they would kind of get back each other, stare each other down, and start brawling at it for a while. That looked really cool as well. Eventually, Ava comes into the ring, takes care of Ivy Nile, which with the distraction. Gallus used that to hit their finisher and get the 1, 2, 3. Great match, man. You guys know I love the Creed brothers. Gallus, I think, is alright. I don't really have much to say about them because I didn't watch them when they were in NXT UK, but they alright. And yeah, this was a great tag match. Curious to know if we're now going to see Schism now feuding with the Creed brothers, given this attack from Ava, the Rock's daughter. But we will have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. Either way, this was a great match. Next up we had was the women's match between Tiffany Stradden and Lyra Valkyria. First and foremost, before we even jump right in, I know I mentioned this in my standing review, but I have to say it again. Man, was I completely wrong about Tiffany Stradden, man, and I take back everything I ever said about the woman, because I mentioned it there, but it bears repeating again because She is very good. You guys know when I first saw her when she debuted on NXT 2.0, I did not like her. I was instantly turned off by her look, her gimmick, everything. I'm like, oh great, Alexa Bliss 2.0. The whole blonde, daddy, spoiled daddy's little girl shit. I'm like, oh god. I thought this was just another way of Vince to get his rocks off, which could still very well be because, God knows what this man's fetishes are, but regardless of Vince's possible fetishes are, man, Tiffany is amazing, man. She is a phenomenal wrestler in her own right, man. She definitely has a bright career ahead of her, man, and she is very good in the ring, man. She is a very good pro wrestler, man, and nothing but a round of applause for her, man. She is absolutely amazing. And like I said, I was completely wrong about her when I first saw her debut in NXT 2.0, man. Goes to show you not to judge a book by its cover. But then again, could you really blame me given the history of blondes in WWE? Especially with these type of gimmicks? Regardless of such, man, she's amazing, man. In this match, she was incredible, and she was amazing in this match as well. First and foremost, I have to mention this, man. I love, first of all, before we get to Tiffany, I love Lyra's look at this match. She had like this like gold dust or whatever, these like gold particles all around like the left side of her face, representing that, her becoming NXT champion and everything. Looked amazing, man. I love the look of it. Tiffany came into the ring, man, and I don't know about y'all, but she looked for like basically her entire entrance and a good chunk of the other part of the match. She looked really nervous. I don't know if any of y'all thought the same way, or it was just me, when she looked very nervous when she was making her way to the ring. Like, we know she's usually a lot more confident during her entrance, but not tonight, man. A lot of that confidence was not there. Understandable, so, this is her first like big match. This is her like a big match. This is her first singles NXT Women's Championship match. I'm pretty sure this is her first singles match on an NXT pay-per-view just in general. I think she was, because I believe she was in a multi-man match at Stand Deliver, if I remember correctly. So makes sense why she would probably have some butterflies and everything, man. But she did look really nervous. I don't know about y'all, but she looked nervous. But that obviously did. Once that bell started to ring, man, she was good, man. So we start the match off with these two ladies already going at it. Eventually, Lyra would start hitting some arm drags onto Tiffany. Tiffany would try to kip up for them, but right as she was starting to when she did the kip up, it was starting to come up. Valkyria, this looked fucking cool. Manages to then counter that by locking her in a headlock and slamming her back to the ground, man. That looked fucking cool, man. That little exchange she did there, man, looked absolutely amazing, man. So as the match would continue on, Lyra and Tiffany would start running the ropes. Lyra would do that thing where she jumps up into the air to dodge them to continue on before hitting them, but she ended up landing kind of awkwardly on her injured knee. It did look nasty. Although I think she might have been just selling it. I don't know if her knees actually injured her at all. This is probably all storyline stuff, and because I think she looked like she was kind of overselling it a little bit when she was falling down to the ground and kind of rolling over to one of the corners. Speaking of which, man, one thing I also thought I liked about this match, and this also once again shows you just how good Tiffany really is I liked as the match would continue on, whenever Lyra would start to get some really big offense on her, she would always run out of the ring, kind of circle around it, like she's kind of nervous, unsure of herself, that she's able to go. I thought that little bit she did there, she did 2 or 3 times throughout the match, or at least in the early part of the match. I thought did a nice job of enhancing the match a little bit. I liked it. Like I said, Tiffany's very good, man. She's literally if Alexa Bliss could actually wrestle. Alright, I'm done. Alright, but, shout out to Alexa Bliss, man. Congratulations to her. It was recently announced, at least I saw it earlier today, that she is actually now pregnant, which I guess is the reason she's been gone for so long. Apparently, I also saw some tweets about her also having some, skin cancer type thing going on. Don't know what's up with that, but glad to see she's in good health. Hope all is well with the baby, and I hope she doesn't come back to TV. I'm sorry. Y'all know I gotta get my diss in. But yeah, man, congratulations to Alexa. I wish her nothing but the best in motherhood. Anyway, back to the actual match. So as I was saying, Tiffany would eventually circle out of the ring, kind of look around, looking unsure of her. And there was this one time where Lyra would go for a suicide. Looked like she was about to go for a suicide dive, but due to the injured knee, re-aggravating it, she wasn't able. I think she was trying to go for it, but couldn't get enough speed on it. So she just kind of so when she was when Tiffany started to come to the side of the ring that she was on to hit the suicide dive, she kind of just stopped and kind of looked at her, man, like she was trying to set her. I thought that looked nice, man. I thought that shot looked really nice. Eventually, after this, Tiffany would start really attacking the knee, throw her into 2 of the posts. Although I'm pretty sure the first time when Tiffany threw Lyra into the post, she missed, or she like barely grazed the post, man. It looked like, I don't know for sure, but it did look like she kind of missed it. But once she went for the second post, she definitely made direct contact on that one. And from there, Tiffany Stradden would rip off her knee pad and start going off on her knee, really attacking, locking this submission where she had like both of her legs wrapped, or she had both of like her feet wrapped around her leg, does a bridge into a chin lock, man. That looked really nice as well. Tiffany once again would continue on working her knee for a good chunk of the match for a bit. Eventually, as the match would continue on, Lyra would hit those sling suplexes that we see the Bucks do a lot. She did a couple of those. Tried to go for a third one, but Tiffany was able to counter that one. Eventually, Lyra would go onto the top rope. Tiffany was able to catch her and do that whole thing John would do, where she goes for a crossbody. John catches her, rolls over, and picks her up and puts him up on his shoulder for an AA. Tiffany was able to do that, man, which I was just got surprised because I did not think she could pull something like that off. She's definitely a lot stronger than she looked. Puts her up in a fireman's carry, but Lyra was able to turn it into a crucifix on for a near fall. That looked really nice, man. That looked really nice. Eventually, as the match would continue on, Tiffany would do that move where she like gets him up in fireman's carry, rolls him onto their back, goes for the moonsault, but it misses, and then Lyra slowly starts crawling over to Tiffany to go for the pin, gets a near fall as Tiffany was able to put her foot on the rope, man. Love that shit, man. Lyra would then go onto the top rope to go onto put Tiffany Lyra would put Tiffany onto the top rope, going for a power bomb, but Tiffany was able to counter it into a Hurricane Rana before then hitting the move again, going for the moonsault, hitting it this time, and getting the 1, 2, 3. Fantastic match, man. The ladies killed it tonight, man. Glad to see Tiffany Stradden, your new NXT Women's Champion. She definitely deserves it, man. And yeah, I'm looking forward to her title run, which is a phrase I didn't think I would see when I first laid my eyes on her back when she debuted in NXT UK. But like I said, man, definitely don't judge a book by a cover. Here's proof of that. Tiffany Stradden, man. Her gimmick instantly turned me off because I'm like, oh, great. Here's another one of these chicks. But, you know, like I said, she's a phenomenal wrestler in her own right, man. And I can't wait to see what they have planned for her as NXT Women's Champion. I'm very excited to see what her title reign will hold for us in the future of NXT. Definitely looking forward to that. Next up, finally, we had the main event between Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. Obviously, the big thing with this one, we were in Boston, or the Boston area. Melo was from Boston, so, you know, he has home field advantage, which, okay, this is something that I'm shocked that no one has brought up. Okay, so, we all know Melo's from Boston. They keep hammering home how he's from Boston. The man came out in Lakers gear and Stand and Deliver. We're not gonna talk about this? Like, bro, ain't that like heresy to the Boston faithful to be dressing up to be wearing Lakers merch? To be coming out here with the Lakers paraphernalia? I mean, yeah, sure, we were in LA and everything, but like, Melo, what up, bro? You from Boston? Why you out here rocking the purple and gold, bro? Shit! I think we need to start questioning your allegiance, bro. Are we sure you're actually from Boston? But yeah, that's something ever since they started bringing up that he's from Boston, I'm like, wait, the man came out in Lakers merch. You know, came out with like the Lakers stuff. And just let's Stand and Deliver. Anyway. This match was fantastic, man. I think I liked their match at Stand and Deliver more than this match, but this was still a fantastic match in its own right, man. So we started the match off fast and furious with Melo already going after Braun Breaker's legs. He was still going after that for a while. And basically throughout a good chunk of the rest of the match, Braun is constantly shit-talking the crowd, saying, be like, let's go, Melo! Or be like, Boston sucks! Constantly shitting on Boston, man, which is pretty funny. Which, first of all, before we continue on with the match, I gotta talk about the entrances real quick. So Braun actually came out wearing like this like bloody half wolf mask with like the teeth like completely covered in red, like blood, and like he was wearing this jacket with claw marks like blood on it. Looked fucking sick, man. Melo came out there. Of course, you had Trick out here hyping him up, doing the whole thing about City of Boston, you know, the Red Sox, the Patriots, the fucking Celtics, which they're out of the playoffs, and Miami is going to the finals. Hell yeah, let's go. Anyway. And of course, whatever the Boston team in the NHL, I don't remember their name. I don't watch hockey, and so yeah, he mentioned that Boston, him, whole thing. I love Trick Mello. I love Trick Williams, man. He's awesome. He's like Trick is easily the greatest hype man ever, man. He's fucking amazing. Anyway, so as I was saying, we had the whole thing with Mello and them going after each other. Eventually, they would go out to the outside where Trick was and Braun were kind of looking at each other. Trick takes his shirt off. I thought they were actually gonna throw down for a bit. Maybe they were, but anyway, Mello gets Braun. He's draped over the second rope onto the outside. Hits the fadeaway that looked really fucking clean as hell, man. As the match continues on, like I said, Braun is constantly shit talking the crowd. He does that thing where he where a wrestler's on all fours and he just starts like jumping onto them, doing that a couple of times. But then he's like the third time, second time, whatever it was, as he's jumping, Mello switches over and he basically his nuts make direct contact with his legs, man, which I'm sure was not pleasant, man. That looked pretty cool, man. There's also this other spot where Mello was up on the top rope and Braun leaps all the way over to the top rope and hits a Hurricane Rana off the top rope, which looked pretty insane, man. I did not know the man could fly like that. Pretty crazy stuff. Eventually goes for a spear, but Mello was able to counter, throwing him into the post. Eventually goes and leaps off the second rope, where he gets speared like crazy by Braun Breaker for a near fall, man. That spear looked like he speared him right in half, man. That spear looked absolutely insane. Trick Williams was shocked when he saw that, man. Eventually he gets him up and Mello's able to counter him into a near cradle for once again a near fall. Hits nothing but net to eventually win the match. Fantastic match, like I mentioned before, guys. I think I did like their match at Stand Deliver a bit more than this one match. I've been digging Braun. I mean, I'm curious to know what they're going to do with Braun now. If he's now finally going to get called up or not. We'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know if maybe he made an appearance on Raw and I just didn't see it. I don't know. Anyway, man. But yeah, I assume Braun's going to get called up now or pretty soon. Because I don't know what else they can do with him in NXT. Maybe they're going to keep him around a little bit longer to keep him working on this heel gimmick or something. I don't know. But hey, Carmelo Hayes is still NXT champion. Been loving him, man. Y'all know I love Mello. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else they have in store for him for his NXT title reign. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end this video off. Overall, my final verdict for the show is going to be a 9.5 out of 10, guys. And if you guys are wondering what I thought what show was better between this and Double or Nothing, I would definitely say I would give the slight edge to Double or Nothing over NXT Battleground. But both of them were fantastic shows, man. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on my socials if you feel like it. Links to those box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.